Simple PID commissioning can be a huge advantage for any engineer because you can quickly and efficiently configure and commission your PID loops. That way you can focus on your application and not how to program it. Let me show you an example of this. As you can see here is the 1215 controller, and we have an analog module. We also have this closed loop control simulator, and this is what we're going to create the PID loop for. First step is we come over here to our project, and as you can see in our main OB we have no program. What I'm going to do first is add new block, choose organization block, cyclic interrupt, the language is going to be ladder, click OK. Now it's going to add this to our program. What I want to do is come over into the instructions, down to the technology section, go down to PID control, find our PID compact, drag and drop it into our project, accept the default data block. At this point now I want to add some tags to it, so go over to set point, and let's use set point as a tag. Go down to the input and let's choose actual temp, and the output is going to be lamp. At this point I want to give focus to the whole block, right click, define tag. Now our tag editor is going to pull up, and for set point a global memory of MD0 as a real, that's fine. Just click enter. The actual temp, let's go down and choose a global input. It just happens to be input word 64. And the lamp happens to be a global output, and it's Q1.0, so let's change that. Click on define. Now we have our tags. So the next step is the configuration of this PID. In the upper right hand corner we have a little toolbox, check on that. Now the editor is going to pull up, so now we have our basic settings and process value changes. The first one happens to be controller type, so let's choose temperature in Celsius. And the input-output parameters. On the output side, I'm going to change that to output PWM. That way we can send a pulse out that digital output. And for this application we are complete, so let me give focus to the CPU and click on the download arrow button. Now he's going to compile the fact we've added these changes in. Now let's go down and choose stop all, click on load. So he's going to load this PID down to our controller, click finished. And now we can do our commissioning. So what I want to do is double click on commissioning. Now if this editor is pulled up, I want to use the split screen and choose the cyclic interrupt. Give focus to our main CPU, click go online. The way you'll know that is you'll get the orange bars across the top, and you get a bunch of green bubbles saying that the online offline are the same. So let's rearrange these windows so I can clearly see these two. Let me move this one over. And in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see we have a measurement. And let's start the measurements. That way we have a trend view of the inputs and outputs. Now let me give focus to this actual block and go in line with this code. Of course, now we get the orange bar across the top. And the way we know it's being called is it's being outlined in green. Let's give focus to the set point. Click modify. Let's choose 60. So now we have our set point and our actual input. At the bottom right hand corner you see we have a start PID. When I click on this, what you're going to see is we are actually pulsing our lamp, and you'll see that as that starts to rise, so does our temperature to the new set point. I also have the ability to do a pre-tune, so if I have a very large delta difference between the actual and the set point, I can do a pre-tune. And in fact, if it's a smaller delta difference, I can do a fine-tune. As well as I have a full set of user tools here, so I can actually look at every single data point in this loop. I can also do a delta time. I can even do a delta amplitude. And in fact, I can resize it so I can clearly see this in this actual editor itself in the trend view. That means I have a full set of analytics directly in our engineering tools, so I can actually get this PID loop to work exactly for our application. I was able to accomplish all this in just a matter of minutes. Now that's engineering efficiency. Thank you.